We live in a world of brands. They are everywhere. Everything that we wear, that we eat, the places where we work, the teams that we root for, even the candidates that we vote for on election day. Brands are everywhere. They are inseparable from our lives. We're even at a point now where people are understanding that as individuals, we are brands and we have a certain image and a reputation, and there are times in life where it's worth finding ways to cultivate that brand to really stand out. Now, some brands are just everyday things that we buy and see and use, but each of us also have brands that we really love. We become brand loyal about them. We get very excited. Sometimes we even spread the good word about these brands to our friends and become brand ambassadors. We form brand tribes. We find connections with other people that feel the same way as we do about particular brands. Sometimes we feel we have more in common with them than with our own friends and neighbors who maybe have differing views. Brands end up becoming a part of who we are. In fact, I feel that you can tell a lot about somebody just by asking them what their 3 favorite brands are. This is an exercise I do with students all the time, and I feel like every student has a different set of 3, and I actually learn quite a bit about them once I learn what those are. Just in case you were curious, my top 3 brands are University of Illinois, Jack Daniels, and Sharpie. So that'll tell you a little bit about who I am. And brands are more ubiquitous than ever. I see statistics out there saying that the average American sees anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 brand impressions a day. That includes things like ads, but also logos that you see out on products or on clothing, social media posts, things like that. And 5,000 to 10,000 is pretty overwhelming. It is impossible for human beings to process that much information. So our brains are wired to ignore most of it as just noise. It just kind of fades into the background. Which means that brands and the people that work for brands need to be really smart about how they define themselves and how they put themselves out there. Only then do they even have a tiny shot at actually being noticed and understood and liked and maybe loved by the people that we care about. And that's where we come in. That's what this class and actually this entire program is all about. It's for people that work with brands. Every brand has a team behind it thinking about things like that. How do we maximize opportunities for this particular company or product? And we're going to cover things in this class like how brands operate, how brands are crafted, and how they're launched, how they're put out there into the world. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. I love working with brands. Brands are familiar to everybody. It's not like taking chemistry where you're learning something super abstract that you have to be introduced to but you can't quite see and feel. Brands are those things that we all know. We all understand it in our hearts. What we're going to do now, though, in this class is start to peek under the hood, take a look at how brands actually do what they do, how brands function in society, and how you get your brand to rise to the level that you want it to be. And when we do that, you're going to find yourself looking at brands in entirely new ways. Those things that we see 5,000 to 10,000 times a day, you'll actually start to pay attention to why brands do the things that they do. It's really interesting, it's really entertaining, and it ends up being really insightful. You start to understand a little bit more about the way the world works. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you are too. It's a great subject. Hopefully you'll get the idea that I'm really passionate about brands, and hopefully by the end of this you will be too.